When I married Daniel, I thought I had found the man I'd spend forever with. We met in college, fell hard and fast, and built what seemed like a perfect little world together. Daniel had always been ambitious, the kind of man who wanted more out of life, whether it was climbing higher in his career, buying a bigger house, or making sure people admired him. I was proud of his determination, but I sometimes felt like I was always chasing after his pace. It started small suggestions he made late at night when we were talking about our marriage. He'd say things like, "Don't you ever wonder what it would be like if we added a little excitement?" Or, "I think about what it would feel like if we pushed the boundaries." At first I laughed it off, thinking he was just teasing. But then the tone shifted. His words carried a seriousness, a desire that I hadn't realized was growing inside him. Daniel began encouraging me to go out more, to dress differently, to notice when other men paid me attention. I brushed it off until one night, at a friend's gathering, he introduced me to two men, Marcus and James. They were confident, easygoing, and charismatic in a way that pulled the attention of everyone in the room. I could see the way Daniel was watching me when I spoke with them. His expression unreadable but his eyes sharp, almost as though he was waiting for something. Over the following weeks, Daniel kept bringing up Marcus and James in casual conversation, like he was planting seeds. "They're good guys," he'd say. "I think you'd get along with them really well." I didn't understand what he was pushing toward, and the thought made me uneasy. But Daniel had a way of persuading me, of making me feel like resisting him meant I wasn't being adventurous enough. The night everything changed, we were at home. Daniel had been unusually quiet all day, and when I asked what was wrong, he looked at me with a strange mix of excitement and determination. "I want you to do something for me," he said softly. My stomach turned because deep down I knew what he meant before he said it out loud. He wanted me to spend time alone with Marcus and James. Together. I was stunned. My heart pounded as I tried to make sense of it. "Daniel, you can't be serious," I said. But he was. He insisted it would bring us closer, that it was a test of trust, that it was something he had fantasized about for years. I didn't know whether to cry, scream, or run. That night I didn't sleep. My thoughts spun in 1,000 directions. Was this really love? Was this really marriage? Or was this a dangerous game Daniel wanted to play at the cost of my dignity? When the day came, I found myself face to face with Marcus and James, my nerves unraveling. They could see my hesitation, my discomfort, and to their credit, they didn't pressure me. But Daniel's presence loomed in the background. His approval, his obsession with seeing this unfold. The tension in the room was unbearable, my emotions caught between shame, fear, and betrayal. I couldn't go through with it. At the last moment, I broke down and told them I couldn't. I walked out, tears streaming down my face, shaking from head to toe. When I confronted Daniel, his reaction shocked me. He wasn't angry, he was disappointed. He told me he thought I was stronger, braver, that I could handle something like this. But all I heard was that he no longer saw me as the woman he once loved. In the weeks that followed, our marriage began to crumble. The trust that held us together was gone, replaced with silence, bitterness, and questions I couldn't answer. I felt like I had lost myself in his desires, his fantasies, his need to control the narrative of our relationship. One night, I sat alone on the porch, listening to the sound of the crickets in the dark. I realized I had two choices: continue living in the shadow of Daniel's wants, or step away and reclaim who I was before all of this. Chose the latter. It wasn't easy. Leaving meant walking away from years of memories, from a life we had built together. But staying meant losing myself piece by piece until there was nothing left. Looking back now, I see it clearly. Love isn't about control, about pushing someone into doing things that break them apart inside. Love is about respect, boundaries, and protecting the trust you share. Daniel crossed that line, and I paid the price until I found the courage to say no. This is my truth. The story of how a marriage built on love fell apart because of one man's obsession with pushing too far. I tell it not for sympathy, but as a reminder that sometimes the hardest thing we can do is walk away from the person we thought we'd never live without.